11:59. Yeah, we have. Okay. Good afternoon, students. Welcome to this new series. So, in this lockdown time, somehow we will manage the remaining 2 units also. We will try to finish remaining 2 units. So, I hope everyone remember this course name, that is Aircraft Stability and Control. Yes, Aircraft Stability and Control. Yes, here we have total 5 units. Already we covered 3 units, unit 1, 2, 3. Now we are discussing unit 4, 5. So we have total already some of the portion in 4th unit we covered. Okay, and the remaining topics like Routh's criteria, Routh's stability criteria, and these things comes under control systems, your control systems course. So I hope everyone is familiar with these topics. So I don't want to discuss more details about these control systems topics. Directly I will go to this aircraft stability and control, especially aircraft stability. So I will go for aircraft stability topics. Okay. So in this week we have 5 lectures. Next week we have more 5 lectures. So total we have 10 lectures. So first 10 minutes I will discuss something about what we have discussed so far. What is these things? What is the basics in these 3 units? What we have discussed in these 3 units? What we are going to discuss in these 2 units, remaining 2 units. So first 10 minutes we will discuss something, it's kind of revision. Just we will go for some short revision in these 3 things, in these 10 minutes. Okay? Yes. So especially in this course, we will discuss about stability. What is that name? Stability. So especially in this course we are discussing about the topic is stability. For example, if you take simple pendulum, just take on simple pendulum, general system. Okay, simple pendulum, general system, like, so if you apply some force, for example, if you take this simple pendulum, it is in equilibrium condition, right? It is in equilibrium position, right? So the external force acting on this simple pendulum is 0. We can say this is in equilibrium position. Okay, so you want to test the stability of this system. What you will do? Generally, if you want to test the stability of any system, generally what you will do? Yes, anyone? You will disturb, right? You will disturb from that initial equilibrium position. So that's why you will give some small f, delta f. You will give just delta f, one small force you will give. So for example, if you give delta f for this system, what will happen? It will oscillate, right? It will oscillate. But at some point of time, after some time t, it will comes to original position, right? It will comes to original position. I mean same equilibrium position. So you can say at this point, at this equilibrium point, at this equilibrium condition, this simple pendulum system is stable. Yes, right? Because after giving some disturbance, it is coming to its original equilibrium position. So we can say this equilibrium point is stable, right? Just apply same logic to aircraft. Just aircraft is flying at some angle of attack alpha 5 degrees, right? Aircraft is flying at some angle of attack alpha is equal to 5 degrees. Suddenly some disturbance, okay, suddenly some disturbance, gust force attacks. Because of the disturbance, angle of attack increased to some 7 degrees. Okay. If this is really stable aircraft, if this is really stable, if this aircraft is really stable, then after some time t, it will comes to the original position. That is nothing but alpha is equal to 5 degrees and same velocity, same velocity will comes to velocity. Yes. At the time we can say this aircraft is stable. At the time we can say this aircraft is stable, right? Are you remembering all these things? Yes. Oh, I think 2 months back we discussed all these things. Yes, everyone, just remember, try to remember all these things. If it is possible, already those videos are in this importance. Okay, so first 2 units videos are already recorded, those videos. So try to just watch once again those videos. Just recollect these basics, very very important. So yes, for this course, first 3 units are very very important, right? Yes. By this example, we can say if aircraft is stable, then it will comes to original position after some disturbance, right? If aircraft is not stable, it won't come, right? So cannot give directly that statement. So some more, if you want more explanation, means that's why we are dividing this stability into 2 parts. One is, there are two types of stability. One is static. One is static stability and second one is dynamic stability. One is static stability and second one is dynamic stability. If you take static stability, this is nothing but, what is, I remember everyone, what is meant by static stability? Yes, static stability, it deals with initial tendency. Deals with initial tendency of the aircraft, right? It deals with initial tendency of the aircraft or any system, right? Any system. For example, so here if you take time response of the system, so it will be like this. This is disturbance. So after time t, it is coming to original equilibrium position, right? So if you take other system, at the time response is somehow, just imagine time response is like this. Okay, so that means at each successive interval of time, it is coming to original position and disturbance is increasing continuously, right? And disturbance is increasing continuously. But this system is statically stable. Why? Because this system have initial tendency to comes to, yes, it is showing some initial tendency. Okay, in this system it is trying to comes to original position, but continuously disturbance is increasing. Okay, so that's why this amplitude is increasing. So we can say this system, this type of systems called as, these are statically stable but dynamically unstable. What is meant by dynamical stability? Right, that is my question, right? So we are saying dynamically unstable. That means dynamic stability means how much time that system is taking. How much time that system is taking to comes to original equilibrium position, right? How much time this system is taking. How much time that particular system is taking to comes to original equilibrium condition. For example, just coming to our aircraft terminology. Okay, so aircraft is flying at some alpha is equal to 5 degrees, right? Suddenly some disturbance occurs. Because of the disturbance, angle of attack increases to alpha is equal to 9 degrees, right? So there are 3 cases. Generally there are 6 possible cases. I hope everyone remember that. So I'm not going that much detail, just go back to our videos once. Okay, just generally we'll discuss here 3 cases. One is by oscillations it will comes to original position. Second one is it will try to comes to original position, but it is not coming to original equilibrium condition, right? So in this case, in other case, but at each interval of time that disturbance is constant. Always the disturbance same, it is maintaining same 9 degrees angle of attack, right? Every time, every each interval of successive interval of time, it is maintaining 9 degrees angle of attack. So in this case, it is trying to comes to original position. In the same manner, the disturbance is increasing, right? In this case, if you observe this case, it is trying to comes to original position. In the same way, that amplitude is increasing, right? Amplitude is increasing. So we can say this is statically stable but dynamically unstable. This system is statically stable, dynamically you can say this is neutral, right? Disturbance is constant. Then what about this thing? This system is statically stable and dynamically stable, right? I hope everyone is remembering these topics, right? So if you take our, if you go to our syllabus, then static stability, if you observe first 3 units, like in our syllabus, first 3 units are related to unit 1, 2 and 3 are related to static stability of the aircraft. Now we are getting aircraft. This is our system. So first 3 units, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, these 3 units are related to aircraft static stability. And now unit 4 and 5, these are related to dynamic stability of the aircraft, right? So in this static stability, we discussed longitudinal static stability, lateral and directional static stability. So especially first units are related to only these topics like longitudinal static stability and lateral directional static stability. Yes? So if you remember what is the condition for, so generally this is the theory. So when you are discussing some theory, so we have to give some mathematical relation also, right? Everything we will remember in mathematical equations, right? So condition for longitudinal static stability. Have you remember what is the condition for longitudinal static stability? Yes, everyone. What is the condition for longitudinal static stability? So just if you remember, then Cm alpha is less than 0. Then what about lateral? So directional Cn beta is greater than 0. Cl beta is less than 0. So I hope you guys remember these conditions. From these conditions only we derived static stability of the whole aircraft. So we derived, I mean we splitted this aircraft into different components like fuselage, okay, horizontal tail, vertical tail, power systems, I mean propeller, next these engines, right? So finally we given longitudinal static stability for whole aircraft, summing up all these individual components stability, right? So just I hope everyone remember these things, like just go back to basics once, okay? So first units we covered about static stability part. Now we will discuss about dynamic stability of the aircraft. We will discuss dynamic stability of the aircraft. Yes. Dynamic stability of the aircraft. Dynamic stability of aircraft. Yes. What is dynamic stability? Yes. Everyone? Yes. What is meant by dynamic stability? So it will mainly deals with time response of the system. So our system is aircraft here. Time response, I mean how much time it will take to comes to virginal equilibrium position, right? How much time that system will take to regain its original equilibrium position, right? How much time aircraft will take to regains its original equilibrium position, right? So time. So here important factor is time in dynamic stability and static stability. In static stability you are not discussing anything about time, but in dynamic stability the important factor is time, right? Time response. So if you observe in your control theory course, yes, time response analysis, how many members remember this? So now I think it is frequency response, it is going on I think, but how many members remember this time response analysis? So if you want to analyze the system, like if you give some distance small f, small force, how it will react, okay? If you want to know that thing, just so you have to study time response analysis, right? Time response analysis. To find time response analysis, to find any system, for any system, like there you discuss in control systems, you discussed about electrical systems, mechanical systems, like our aircraft, any system, like if you want to know time response analysis of this particular system, we need, what is the basic thing? Yes, you have to study system dynamics, yes, right? We have to study, to find this, you have to study system dynamics. You have to study system dynamics of the any system, like you have to study that particular system dynamics, right? So by using this system dynamics, yes, what are the advantages if you study this system dynamics? What are the advantages? Like, why? If you want to develop, or if you want to create some controller for any system, right? First you have to study dynamics of that particular system. At that time only you will give some good controller for that system, right? Yes? Are you agree with me? Yes, everyone. If you want to develop some controller, if you want to develop controller for aircraft, if you want to develop one controller for aircraft, UAV, anything like any flight, if you want to develop controller for any flying vehicles, so you have to study the dynamics of that particular system. Yes, for example, in spring mass damper system, for example, if you take spring mass, damper system, you are writing by using just, right, Newton's second law. You are using Newton's second law and you are writing like mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to 0. Like that you are writing, right? This is k, this is c. Damping constant and spring constant, okay? Damping coefficient, okay? So you are writing this equation, right? mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equal to 0. So that is the basic equation. So you are writing this equation and later you are applying Laplace transforms. Finally you are getting transfer function, right? Finally you are getting transfer function. From that you are taking characteristic equation, right? From that characteristic equation you are analyzing is that system is stable or unstable, right? Based on poles of the system. So same thing you will do in this dynamic analysis of aircraft. Same thing you will do. First you will write equations of motions for the aircraft, because already you written something. First, how you are analyzing spring mass damper stability? How you are doing like that? From this basic equation, right? You derived this basic equation first, right? Yes, everyone? Are you getting? So to design any controller, or if you want to find the response of the system, if you want to know the response of the system, first you have to give some good mathematical model. If you want to give, you have to give good mathematical, that is good mathematical equation. You have to write good mathematical equation, right? Yes, everyone, are you getting? So in these 10 classes, we will study dynamic stability of the aircraft. Okay, we will study dynamic stability of the aircraft. So if you want to study dynamic stability of the aircraft, you have to go for time response analysis. Okay, after some time t, how aircraft is responding. After some time t, how aircraft is responding in longitudinal case, lateral case or lateral directional case. Okay, how aircraft is responding. If you want to know that thing, first you have to write equations of motion, right? Are you getting? So what are the steps you have to do? So generally there are, so in this 10 classes we will do these following steps. Like, we will derive derivation of the equation, equation of motion. This is our first task. We will go for this. And next one is linearization. Linearization of these equations. Okay. Next one is solutions. Solutions of the equations of solutions of the equations of motion, right? We'll go for this. Next one is, we'll go for longitudinal motion approximation. In the same manner, we will go for lateral directional approximations. Okay, these are things we will do. Yes, so if you go through this, like here you will get some portion like perturbation, small perturbation. You will find here some theory, small perturbation theory, from that derivations of equation motion to linearization between that. So here we have this thing in self-study topic. Just I will give some small gist about that that perturbation theory, but we are not going to discuss more detail. Okay, we have very less time, and we have to cover all these things in the span of 10 hours. So some topics I am giving as some self-study. Already it is in your syllabus, so we will go as per syllabus. And remember one more thing, we will go for as per GATE standard, right? As per GATE standard. In GATE standard, they don't ask anything about derive this small perturbation like these things. They don't ask anything. Just we want to know what is the application. Okay, if they given some state space representation, x dot is equal to x plus, okay, like this. If they given some representation, from that representation you have to find eigenvalues. Yes. We have to find is that system is stable or not. Okay, so we will go for application oriented point of view. Okay, so we don't have sufficient time, so that's why we are not dealing. And anyway, just this is aircraft is like simply you can say this is complex problem. Yes, so it is very difficult to discuss all these things. Like, so here we will get important topic. We will go as per like your syllabus and what is important point related to GATE point of view. Okay, so in this 10 hours I will cover, yes, especially I will cover in GATE point of view only. Okay, so here you will get modes, longitudinal modes of the aircraft. Here you will get lateral directional modes of the aircraft. Okay, so lateral directional modes of the aircraft. So these are very important topics in GATE point of view. Okay, so yes, once again I am repeating, just it is very difficult to like derive all these equations, like, so, but final application, that is very important. So in GATE point of view, these longitudinal modes, lateral directional modes, so yes, that application is very important. Okay, yes. So first one is derivation of equations of motion of the aircraft. So this is the topic. Yes, this is the topic, derivation of equations of the motions. Yes, everyone, I hope you are clear up to this point what we are doing now, why we are deriving equations of motions. We want to find the response of the aircraft. If you give small disturbance to the aircraft, how it will respond. Yes, so yes, derivation of the equations of motion. Derivation of the equations of motion. Yes. Derivation of the equations of motion. Yes, anyone? How will you do this? By using your basics like engineering mechanics. First you will use, yes, for everything. Basics are very, very important, like your engineering mechanics. Yes, tell me. First of all, tell me, for example, there you have seen that simple pendulum. Okay, so there you have like, you are assuming that is single degree of freedom, right? So 1 degree of freedom. So spring mass damper, 1 DOF, degrees of freedom. I hope everyone understand this. What is degrees of freedom? Now I am discussing those detailed things like. But just what about, tell me, what about degrees of freedom for aircraft? For aircraft, how many degrees of freedom? How many degrees of freedom? Yes. How many degrees of freedom? Yes. If you assume aircraft is rigid body, if you assume aircraft is rigid body, if you take elasticity, those things, we are not discussing. Yes, I told you, already discussed, aircraft is like complex problem. We are assuming some assumptions. Okay, we are assuming some for simplicity purpose, right? First assumption is we are assuming aircraft is rigid body. Okay, aircraft is rigid body. If you assume like that, our aircraft have 6 degrees of freedom, 3 translational, 3 rotational, right? 3 translational motions and 3 rotational motions. Yes? Are you with me, everyone? 3 translational and 3 rotational motions. To derive this equation of motions for aircraft, what about one more assumption I am taking as, that is, if aircraft is flying somewhere, some altitude, some 11,000 feet, yes, if you are in that aircraft, you don't know, right, at which altitude you are flying. Yes. What about rotation? Yes. What about pitch angle? What is roll angle? What is yaw angle? You don't know. So that's why if aircraft is flying somewhere here, we have to take some reference frame. Okay, reference frame, right? So somewhere here, I am taking reference frame on the earth. On earth. So second point is reference frame. The reference frame attached. The reference frame attached to the earth. Yes? What I am telling? What I am assuming? Sorry. What I am assuming? Reference frame is attached to the earth. So if you take like this, my earth, right? You are taking earth as the reference frame, inertial frame of reference. That is nothing but earth is not moving. Yes, these are assumptions. Okay, just you don't worry about that thing. One more assumption is flat earth model. Flat earth model. Maybe we are assuming earth is flat. Maybe this funny fellow Aditya will get doubt, sir, why you are assuming like that? This Aditya, you will ask if he is here. Okay. Yes. Why you are assuming flat earth model? See, so we are just, these are assumptions because if you take all these complex problems, it is very, very difficult to derive in this 1 hour. Not only 1 hour. So that is not up to the UG. It is not up to the like UG standard. So no need. So but here some logic is there. If it is some spacecraft or rocket, if it is flying somewhere, some altitude, like at the time you can take earth is rotating. You can take earth rotational, but we are flying at low altitudes, right? Hardly some 11 kilometers troposphere, like. Yes. So That's why I'm assuming Earth is flat Earth model. I'm assuming like that. Yes, for spacecrafts and rockets, if you take this assumption, that may be wrong. You have to take rotation also, Earth rotation also. Are you getting everyone? Yes. But to derive these aircraft equations, I am assuming as flat Earth model. Yes. So these three are the assumptions I am taking. Chalo, we'll go for derivation. Yes, remember these assumptions, and I'm writing. Yes, I hope everyone knows this, how to derive this 6 degrees of freedom rigid body equations of motions, right? Rigid body equations, 6 degrees of freedom, 6 degrees of freedom rigid body equations. So in place of some rigid body, I am assuming aircraft. So generally you will take like this. Maybe you remember this. So in place of this, I am assuming aircraft. Let's go. This is my aircraft. So one axis system I am attaching with aircraft at center of mass. That is body fixed axis system. Body fixed axis system. Yes. What about inertial frame of reference? I am attaching on Earth. Earth is the inertial frame of reference for the system. Yes? Are you with me, everyone? So, XE, YE, ZE. Yes, everyone? So, two axis system. One is body fixed axis system and one is earth fixed, right? Yes. If you want to derive equations of motion, just I am assuming some small mass delta m on this aircraft. What about this mass? Delta m. Yes, everyone? So it is the distance between center of mass to this small mass is, I am taking as r bar. Yes. And this aircraft is in translational and rotational motion. This aircraft have translational and rotational motion. So at center of mass, aircraft have velocity vc and rotation omega. That means angular velocity with respect to body fixed. Yes, everyone, are you following? So distance between that point mass to center of inertial frame, I am taking as r bar, and this distance between aircraft center of mass to, okay, sorry for this, just you can assume like this straight. This is RC bar. If you assume this is like triangle. So like this, you can say like this, vectors. Yes, are you getting, everyone? Just by these assumptions I am taking this figure. We will get this, finally this figure. In base of rigid body I am taking like aircraft. Aircraft is our rigid body, right? We are deriving these equations for aircraft, right? Aircraft is rigid body, reference frame, flat earth model, right? Now, can anyone tell me Just, can anyone tell me just? Yes, we have 20 minutes. We have to finish it fast. So you can assume like C, center of mass of the aircraft. C is center of mass of the aircraft. So from the triangular, just you can say, what about R bar? What is R bar? Bar, I mean nothing, vector R, the distance between that point mass, not point mass, that small element delta m to center of the inertial frame. What is the distance? That R is equal to RC plus small r bar, right? You can take like this, RC plus small r bar. So now we want to find the velocity of this small mass, elemental mass. What about velocity of the small elemental mass? V bar is equal to translational motion plus rotational, right? So you can write like this. So V bar is equal to Vc bar plus R bar cross omega bar. So that is nothing but body, right? Omega B. Sorry. This is the thing. Omega B cross R bar. This cross product you have to be very careful. Yes, right? Omega B cross R bar. Now, you know velocity. We are finding equations of motions. The basic law is Newton's second law. We have to find what is the force acting on this small mass. Later we can sum up for whole aircraft. So what about force? Delta F, small force. So I think camera is too long. We'll write something. Delta F is equal to yes. Anyone? Yes, rate of change of momentum, right? Force is nothing but rate of change of momentum. So we can write dV by dt into delta M. So simply you can substitute this V bar in this expression. You know expression for V bar. Before going that, total force is nothing but summation of all these forces. Total force acting on that aircraft is nothing but summation of all masses, right? Yes, you can take like this. Yes, everyone. So finally, we will get expression like this: sigma delta m into dV bar by dt. Yes, dV bar by dt. So what about V bar? Just simply you can substitute this. V bar is nothing but Vc bar plus omega B cross R bar. This, what is omega? Somehow some confusion is there. Vector notation. Yes, omega, nothing but pitch rate, roll rate, air rate, right? So omega is nothing but Pi plus Qj Rk cap, right? So this R is nothing but in vector notation xi bar, bar is nothing but yj bar or yj cap plus zk. Yes, in vector notations we are not taking as scalars, we are taking as vectors. So that omega is nothing but angular velocities, nothing but rate. R is the distance, position vector, right? R is position vector. Yes, tell me. Just simply substitute this velocity. So we will get delta m d by dt. So you will get Vc bar omega B cross R bar, right? We'll get like this. Can you expand this, everyone? Try to expand this expression. Just I'm erasing this just. Expand that expression like, so you will get yes, see here, simply just expand this. Here you have plus sign, so this sigma, so you will get sigma delta m dot d Vc bar by dt plus, yes, are you with me everyone? Sigma delta m d by dt of omega bar cross r bar, right? Just simply you expand this. Yes, if you expand this, you will get like this. So sigma delta m, if this is constant, right? You can bring it out from that expression, dv by dt into sigma delta m, right? So here, just if you include in this, like you will get like omega bar cross dr by dt, sorry, so here you will get omega bar dr by dt, sigma we are missing. So let's see, just another step we will make it delta. You will get like this, right? Somehow, because omega bar, this is constant, you can take, okay, so position vector only thing. So this dv bar by dt is nothing but, so these were acceleration, so you can put like this dv bar by dt Vc, and what about this summation of all small elements, nothing but mass of the aircraft, you can say m plus omega bar, so it is constant, you are just bring this thing out from that sigma r bar. Anyway, just see this expression, you will understand now. Just see sigma r bar dot delta m. What is mean by that? Sigma r bar. So you are taking as center of mass as the reference. Okay. So if you add summation of, this is center of mass. Center of mass expression is that thing, right? Sigma of r bar dot m is equal to 0. Just if you add sigma r bar, for example, if you take some mass from 1 meter this distance, from 1 meter in this side, so this is positive, this is negative, it will cancel, right? So you can take it as this sigma r bar, it will become 0. So this expression will become 0. So not that much important. So you can take it as, by center of mass definition, you can take it as this term as 0. Yes, everyone? What about remaining term we have? Remaining term we have, so total force is equal to m into dvc by dt. Yes, you are getting this, everyone? So try to expand this, expression, like how we'll do this. You have to take inertial frame as the reference. If anything, if you have any vector, if you want to write that vector in inertial frame, that vector in inertial frame is equal to that body frame plus the same expression, omega bar cross that vector. Yes, right? So by using that expression, I am writing like this. F bar F vector is equal to m into dvc by dt plus m into omega b cross vc bar, right? You can write like this, m into omega b cross vc bar. So here, so this f is nothing but fx, f by fz, this is nothing but vector, right? So here you have dvc, so if you take this m as common, dvc by dt plus, so m is, take it as common, right? Omega b cross vc bar. You are getting, everyone? So how you will find this cross product? By using your basic mathematics. Omega b cross vc bar is equal to ij k p q r. So omega is nothing but vector. So in terms of rates, right? Pitch rate, roll rate, air rate, right? PQR. Pitch rate is Q. Next, what about VC? Velocity component, right? Velocity vector. So velocity vector is nothing but ui cap plus vj cap plus w k cap. U is in x-axis direction and v is towards y-axis, w is towards like z direction, right? So you can take u, v, w. So you will get expression like this, I into qw minus rv minus j into, we take pw minus ru plus k into pv minus qu, right? So here this is vector and this is also like vector, right? So dvc by dt you can write as acceleration. Otherwise in vector notation you can write as u dot, v dot, w dot. You can expand like this, right? So here you will get u dot, v dot, w dot, I mean u dot I plus v dot j. So here also you are getting some scalars into I, j, k. If you sum all this, if you sum these two expressions, so finally you will get this f can be, you can write f as fx I bar plus fy j bar plus fz k bar, right? In the same manner, if you write here ijk form, right? So finally you will get fx is equal to m. We are taking m is constant, right? Already we have m, so don't neglect this, right? M already is there, mass. Mass is equal to u dot, because here we have Vc, dV by dt. So Vc is nothing but u v w. So u dot plus constant, this is qw minus rv. Next, same, expand like this, fy is equal to m into v dot plus ru minus pw. Same, fz, forces in x direction, y direction, z direction, m into w dot plus pv minus QU. Just here minus sign they are taking into the brackets. Finally you will get RU minus PW. That's why you are getting here RU minus PW, right? Yes. So force equation like translational motion Fx aircraft, Fx, Fy, Fz. So in your previous semester you studied about yes, you studied, right? Already you studied in your previous semester, you studied aircraft performance course, right? Yes. By using that basics in subsequent classes, yes, if you have time we will derive what about Fx, what are the forces acting on aircraft in X direction. Yes, what are the forces acting on aircraft? Yes, anyone? So gravitational force, propulsive force, aerodynamic forces. Are you remembering all those things? So by using this propulsive force, gravitational, yes, and aerodynamic forces. Yes, we are taking these forces, right? So this Fx, Fy, Fz, we will derive from that basics. Finally, we will get some complete set of equations. And remember one thing, here we are taking only in this rigid body equations. Finally, this is 6 DOF, right? We are talking about 6 DOF, but we got only 3 only. This is force. Okay, so what about one more thing? By using moment. By using moment. So it is very similar to this expression like this only. So yes. So tomorrow we will derive that part. So if we have time we will derive, otherwise directly I can explain like what about those 3 equations. Yes. Just go back to this lecture once again and study this. Finally we are getting 3 equations, force equations. So Fx, Fy, Fz. So this M is mass, U dot, V dot, W dot, accelerations like in X axis, Y axis, Z axis, QW, I mean Q, PQR, you know, rates, aircraft rates like pitch rate, yaw rate, roll rate. P is, don't confuse, P is roll rate, Q, pitch rate, R, yaw rate, right? Yes, are you remembering nothing but this Q, d theta by dt, yes, nothing but angular, yes, right? Q, P, d pi by dt, this is R is d psi by dt, yes. So finally we are getting these 3 equations, and if you apply the same logic for moments also, you will get 3 more equations, totally 6 equations, right? Yes, everyone? Yes. So today I will end up here, like just go back to this lecture once again, study these equations. Very, very important. Very, very important for yes, this university examination point of view. Yes. So I hope you understand this. Like, if you have any queries, like if you have any questions, you can mail me. Like, you know my mail ID. I hope. If you don't know, just note it down. AK Nakala @GIT.edu. Yes. If you have any doubts, just you can contact me through that mail ID. Yes. Thank you.